Put me in, coach!
I fucking love the Dallas Cowboys draft. The Cowboys had an incredible draft, with each pick being considered by many to be great value, with each pick, with the exception of the 1st and 7th round picks, being expected to go around sooner, with every Cowboys pick having people call it the steal of the draft. Who would have thought that an isolated Jerry Jones on his super yacht would have led to great draft decisions? The Cowboys selected CeeDee Lamb after he fell into their laps at 17, and that feeling kept on throughout the draft, a draft where they also selected Trayvon Diggs at 51, Neville Gallimore at 81, Reggie Robinson II at 123, Tyler Biadasz at 146 after trading with the Eagles, Bradley Anae at 179, and Ben DiNucci at 231. And here's what I think about each of Dallas's picks. CeeDee Lamb was considered by many to be the best receiver in a loaded class, and has been considered by some to be the steal of the first round. Lamb runs routes very well and is great with the ball after the catch. Receiver wasn't considered a need as the Cowboys had a lethal duo in Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, but as the Cowboys had him 6 on their board, the value was too good to pass up. The Cowboys had the number 1 ranked offense last year, and with most of that side of the ball returning, and potentially the best trio of receivers, that likely won't change. The Cowboys were expected to go defense in their first round, but the addition of Lamb might actually help the defense, as the Cowboys' offense is now expected to carry the team and win most of their games, meaning the Dallas defense won't need to be that great. Some mock drafts had the Cowboys taking Diggs at 17, but instead they waited and got him 34 picks later. The Cowboys lost Byron Jones in free agency and left their corner group with a couple question marks. While I'm personally a fan of Awuzie, Brown, and Lewis, another quality player was definitely needed, one who can hopefully develop into a true number 1 corner, and that's what Dallas is hopefully getting in cornerback Trayvon Diggs. A corner with ball skills, which is something Dallas has been lacking. And Trayvon's ability to get the ball shouldn't be too much of a surprise, as he used to play wide receiver and is brother to top wide receiver Stefon Diggs, who is now with the Buffalo Bills. This pick helped a Dallas position group that needed it most. The Cowboys signed Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe in free agency, but due to them being aging players and on shorter-term deals, they decided to invest in another D-tackle. They drafted Neville Gallimore, a guy the Cowboys reportedly contemplated taking in the 2nd. They ended up being rewarded with in the 3rd. A guy who wasn't fully utilized in Oklahoma, with an overuse of D-tackles instead of letting Gallimore just attack. He's a physical specimen that ran a 4.79 at 300 pounds, who would benefit from better coaching at the NFL level, where he'll be able to realize his full potential and create havoc on the D-line for years to come. While Byron Jones leaving left the Cowboys corners with less talent, the impending free agency of Lewis and Awuzie leave the Cowboys cornerback group in uncertainty for the foreseeable future. So the Cowboys decided to double dip in the pool of corners with the selection of Reggie Robinson II, who Jones hinted could play at safety, as well as saying some of the Cowboys already on the roster having the potential to play safety, also a position of need for the Cowboys. But whether it's Reggie switching to play safety or one of the other corners switching, and Reggie helping fill out the corner room, this pick is great depth for the Cowboys. With one Wisconsin center leaving the Cowboys, another comes in. Tyler Biadasz was selected by the Cowboys after a rare trade with the Eagles, which would show how good the Cowboys feel about this player. It would be too much pressure for him to expect him to be as good a center as Travis Frederick, especially considering he likely won't start the season, let alone week 1. But I do expect him to develop into a quality starting center and to be elite in the run game, and to be looked back as a steal in the draft. The Cowboys drafted Bradley Anae at 179 and is already considered the steal of the draft. Anae isn't a physical specimen, but he is a technically sound and high motor player. He's being added to a defensive end group in Dallas that has plenty of question marks, with Gregory and Aldon Smith waiting for reinstatement. While Anae has a lower ceiling, he does have a high enough floor to help stabilize the Cowboys' defensive end rotation. I don't have much to say about this pick, as he will likely just be a project for Mike McCarthy and just land on the practice squad for the Cowboys. I will say I'm always for drafting a quarterback to develop, whether it to be a good backup or just to flip for a pick later on. Overall, I think the Cowboys had an outstanding draft, taking the best players available as priority and still filling positions of need. The Cowboys have the potential of having the best draft, with maybe the most impact players of any team from the 2020 draft. This draft has made me even more excited for the upcoming season. How did you think the Cowboys did in the draft? Which team do you believe had the best draft in 2020? And what should I talk about next? Thank you for watching, and remember, wash your hands.